Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of hopefully many episodes. I am trying something new with PowerPoints and sitting down because I can work on it easier than my previous episodes. But on today's episode, I'm talking about GLP medications, GLP 1s, 2s, and 3s. Technically, all GLP 1s, but I'm just going by what other people are saying, the common population. My name is Andrew French. I am not a doctor. I just like to gather information of current medications, of what's up and coming, other bodybuilding related topics, and anything that you guys would like me to talk about. So, in today's episode, I am going to go over what a GLP 1, 2, and 3, and possibly a 4 is. Research study findings over all the GLPs, side effects of each GLP medication, who should take GLPs according to my thoughts, and what other medical people think, and other thoughts to mention, just things that I would like to get out there. So, what is a GLP-1? GLP-1 is a glucagon-like peptide 1. It is going for the GLP agonist pathways. This is our hormone naturally found within the gut. It lowers blood sugar. It helps insulin secretion. It helps with appetite and satiety. And it lowers gastric emptying, with gastric emptying being pretty much the slowing of digestion and your stomach emptying into the intestines. The drug names for this is semaglutide, most commonly known as Ozempic. There's also dulaglutide, lixintide, and liraglutide. Those are just other GLP-1s, but semaglutide is the one that most everybody knows, or Ozempic. Results in research studies for weight loss with the GLP-1s. And the study, the title is called Efficacy and Safety of Liraglutide and Semaglutide on Weight Loss in People with Obesity or Overweight. A systematic review. So this is comparing that liraglutide and semaglutide together. They looked at 23 randomized controlled studies, or RCTs. These had 11,545 patients and 4 interventions within this review. Within this review, they found that people who were using semaglutide at 2.4 milligrams, they lost 12.47 kilograms, or 27.49 pounds, and compared to 1 milligram, they only lost about a pound. With the liraglutide, at 3 milligrams, they lost 11.55 pounds, and at 1.8, there's no significant difference. So about a pound compared to the semaglutide. So throughout this, the 2.4 semaglutide is better than the 3 milligrams of liraglutide. 1 milligram is better than 1.8 of the liraglutide, and all those are better than any placebos given to these individuals throughout the studies. And also down here in the corner, bottom right, I gave the DOI so you can also find these studies. See if I missed anything. See if I'm wrong about anything. But side effects of GLP-1s, most common is nausea, digestive issues. This includes the nausea, but like diarrhea, constipation, just overall digestive issues. Muscle loss is also seen, but that's most likely due to lack of exercise and lower calories. So if you do not exercise and are on low calories, you waste away to nothing. And hypoglycemic events is also seen. It's not like you're constantly dealing with it. It just can be you go hypoglycemic every once in a while. What is a GLP-2? Glucagon-like peptide 1 with the inclusion of glucose-dependent insulinotropic polypeptide. So this is the GLP and GIP agonist pathways. This helps stimulate more insulin release after meals. This also affects fat metabolism and enhances weight loss in conjunction with the GLPs. So the GIP pretty much helps the GLP be overall better. The drug name is tirzepatide, or commonly known as Mounjaro or Zepbound. Results with GLP and GIP. The title of this study was Weight Loss, Efficiency, and Safety of Tirzepatide, a Systematic Review. This was looked over 10 studies, 12 reports involving 9,873 patients. With the tirzepatide, they start off at 2.5 to 5 milligrams, with 2.5 being the first week to the third week, 7.5 weeks 4 and 7, and 15 milligrams at 8 to 11 weeks. Overall, they all lost around roughly 21.63 pounds, so better than what we saw before. With compared to just the GLP-1, they lost 2.31 pounds, and also they used insulin, which they only lost 4.25 pounds. So the tirzepatide was a lot greater. And also in this, I pulled this from the study, this is comparing the tirzepatide to the GLP. And once again, in the bottom right corner is the study. So look at it if you want to and see if I missed anything. What is a GLP-3? So this is not out yet in pharmaceutical means. Most bodybuilders already know about it and have it and can get to it pretty easily, but is not within the US. It is not prescribed by any doctor or pharmacy other than underground compounded labs. So this is commonly known as retatrutide. It's big in news in the bodybuilding field and other areas. But this is the GLP-1, or the glucagon-like peptide 1, the GIP, the glucose-dependent insulinotropic polypeptide. But the third pathway is glucagon itself. So it's GLP, GIP, and glucagon agonist pathways. So glucagon, it helps raise blood sugars, which stimulates liver glucose release, which in conjunction with the GLP and GIP helps lower it. So it's kind of working against itself a little bit. Increases energy expenditure or metabolism uptake. Metabolism in itself is a very contrary word, because most people are like, I have a terrible metabolism. First of all, tell me what metabolism is and where is it and where can I find it. What this basically means, it raises your basal metabolic rate, or BMR. This is by mitochondrial uncoupling, which pretty much cells produce heat, which is thermogenesis. So it's the UCP1, uncoupling protein 1 expression, thermogenesis, which produces heat and thermogenesis burns calories. It helps promote fat breakdown, or lipolysis. It binds to receptors, break down stored triglycerides into free fatty acids and glycerol for your body to use. It may reduce fatty liver, just from what we saw before. It breaks down fats. This is currently being studied. It stimulates liver to break down glycogen, create glucose, and process amino acids. Results in a research study. This was a study by the New England Journal of Medicine. The title of this is Triple Hormone Receptor Agonist Retatrutide for Obesity, a Phase 2 trial. And this was in 2003. So it was a 48-week trial. They had some individuals at 1 milligram, which they lost 8.7% of their body weight. They had a group at 4 milligrams. They lost 17.2% body weight. And 8 milligrams, 22.8% of their body weight. and at 12 milligrams, 24.2% of their body weight. And that was kind of the up end, that you don't get much more progress without running into negative side effects pretty quickly after 12 milligrams. Side effects of that we see is with the retatrutide, we do see an increase of heart rate. So that is something to keep track of if you are already taking this GLP. And there's less of, but similar to GLP-1s and GLP-2s, the nausea, some have it, but it's less, so it's getting better. But also, as you can see in this picture, there's no long-term safety data since it's relatively new. So yeah. And a GLP-4, ooh, is there one already in the works? There is. It's already kind of out. So there's a further added agonist. It's known as omegatide. This pretty much just includes cagrilintide, which you can take cagrilintide by itself, but it's just added into the GLP-3 for added appetite reduction. And also it works on amylin analogs, so it binds to amylin receptors and potentially calcitonin receptors in the brain, which pretty much signals fullness and further delays gastric emptying. Alrighty, who should take GLPs? So in my opinion, anybody. I am a big believer that anybody should be able to take any kind of medication that they seem fit, along with their doctors, of course, but I'll go further into that. But anybody who deems that it is beneficial to them, I always go with the saying, if you were to dig a hole and somebody hands you a plastic spoon, that's not a really good starting off point. So it's kind of the same with fat loss. Let's get going with something, give you a shovel or even a backhoe hoe so you can get going with the project. Overweight individuals, this is greatly, especially the retatrutide with individuals who can't really exercise if you're that overweight, with its metabolic burning effect. It is a great help. Also, appetite reduction is also a great positive. Anybody who deals with constant hunger, I am one of these people. I have gotten up to 3,900 calories before, and I was still starving to death. So imagine me during prep. I am always hungry. For the past 8 years, I've been hungry every day, thinking about food. This also includes food noise. If you deal with food noise really bad, this is something to look into. Bodybuilders. Most bodybuilders, and especially in neck walkers condition, is usually taking human growth hormone. And if you know anything about human growth hormone, it might make you diabetic. It makes you really insulin resistant, which insulin resistance leads to diabetes. So if you take retatrutide or any other kind of GLP, it can help prevent diabetes, and also makes you less insulin resistant. So in theory, it can help you build more muscle. Diabetics, type 1, type 2. This is pretty self-explanatory. It helps with insulin resistance, and you are insulin resistant if you're type 2, and it can also help with type 1. Not saying that type 1, you take this and you don't need insulin anymore. You still need insulin. Your body doesn't produce it. Other thoughts. Any patches or pills are scams and a waste of money. I've heard people talking about patches that they bought off of TikTok Shop, and they get absolutely nothing off of it. There's nothing in there that I have not seen anybody get any kind of positive benefits, even from pills. I do not trust them. Any of these medications have to be injected. They must be injected. You must have a decent diet, nutrition, and exercise, but you must be like, I thought I was taking these drugs so I can lose weight, not exercise. No, you will waste away into nothing. You will get the Ozempic face. Nobody really knows what causes the Ozempic face, but from what I've talked to people and what I've seen, it is most likely you lose a bunch of weight at one time, and you don't exercise or keep any other kind of healthy activities going, so you just kind of waste away and get the Ozempic face and the Ozempic butt. And primary care doctors don't always know or can prescribe these drugs. I know this is a touchy subject. Don't go to your doctor and be like, hey, I saw this one 22-year-old on YouTube talk about that. I can't trust you with this. But definitely talk to your doctors about it. But in honesty, everybody that I've talked to, they usually say that their doctors are waiting for them to become pre-diabetic or super overweight to prescribe these drugs. And also insurance companies are a big issue within this as well, because most insurance companies will not cover these kinds of drugs until you are pre-diabetic or already diabetic or becoming diabetic. So I am usually more about prevention than getting the freaking disease and dealing with it while you have the disease. I'd rather take care of it beforehand. But that is everything I have for this episode. If you have any more questions, comment down below, like and subscribe if you would like more information. Please tell me about anything else that you would like for me to talk about so I have more ideas. I do have other videos in the works. Follow me on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. You can follow me on Facebook, why not? And also TikTok, French.ie_lifts on most of my social medias. I'll also plug that down below. But thank you for watching this video. Like and subscribe again, and have a good one.